Guys. Media is curated, guys. Media is curated. What does that mean? It means, Uguti, I show you what I want you to see. It may be real, it may not be real, but I show you. It's like a magic trick, or it's like So on Saturday, I was privileged enough to be on the Conversation Capital. That is with Usis Ursula, Uput Given, and Usis Bonga. Amazing podcast, guys. Please just go give it a watch, the Conversation Capital. And we're chatting about social media. We've done a lot of interviews or conversations with Usis Ursula on Dope Conversations, which is Penwell's channel. But just, check all those things out. But one of the things that we constantly talk about, and we've spoken about it many times with malign, with Tulelo, is around the fact, Uguti, you've got this brand, you've got social media. How do you curate it in such a way? We speak. We're speaking marketing, we're speaking this, we're speaking that, only to realize, Uguti, on the other side, people still have this perceived perception of what reality is. Like I've said this time and time, when I speak about parenting, I was like, shit, in parenting, we saw Damien Wayans and my wife and kids, that is not real in terms of how fathers are. You might know of maybe one father who's like Damien Wayans and my wife and kids, who runs a successful business, but is always at home, who's always available for his kids, who's always available for his wife, who's got so much money, and his wife does. Okay, sharp, maybe you know that one guy. But that's not the general father. The general partner is not like Rich Forrester, where Taylor gets to slap him, and then he goes and buys 1,000 red roses and buys her a new car. That's not an everyday thing. You might know one person, you might have heard maybe of one person, but it's not that simple. It's not like how we've seen on TV. It's definitely definitely not how we see it on YouTube, on Instagram. Oh, guys. Anyway, now that I've did a bit of a rant. So we're chatting with Usis Ursula, and we're chatting again around social media and how it has been utilized to control the masses and how it's been utilized to push a certain narrative. And she's asking me about my social media. And she's like, how are you doing it? Don't you get I think she said, vulnerability fatigue, because she's speaking about this channel, and she was saying, how am I selling myself when people meet me and maybe they see a different side, or maybe because we've had many on-off conversations. We've had many disagreements around feminism, masculinity on these conversations or on these podcasts. And I was saying, with me, for people that have been on this journey with me within the community, Guti, when it comes to this channel, I'm not trying to push a certain narrative because someone told me to do this. I'm not trying to sell e-keeper. I'm not trying to sell Forex. And if I was trying to sell t-shirts, I would say I'm trying to sell t-shirts. If I was trying to push Forex, I would say I'm trying to push Forex. Where I'm going with this is that this is my diary. This is my diary. This is, if you love art, and you love making art for yourself, this is my art. If you like cooking and cooking for yourself, this is mine. Where it might change, maybe some people cook and then they just eat it. I cook, take a picture, post, and then I eat. That's me. I draw my artwork, I take a picture, and then I post, and then carry on. And then you guys on the other side decide if you like it or you don't like it, but that's on you. Really, that's on you. Sometimes you guys will ask me, hey, please can you draw a picture of an elephant? I might consider it. Sometimes you guys will say, please can you draw a picture of a crocodile? And I'll be like, I don't feel like it. My social media is all about me being authentically me. People that know me personally and people that know me on social media see a very much similarity. They won't see the whole picture. Of course, they won't see the whole picture. You'll see me with my kids, but you won't realize, Uguti, for example, on Saturday, I was up at 4:30. We were watching the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight, but my kids were up with me. We were doing kids. We were having a breakfast together, and then from there I went to the rugby field. I was kicking the ball with them. You won't see those things. And then later I took Uzita. He had a friend's birthday party, so I took him there. And then I went to record. Then I came back and picked him up, and then I spent. So you won't see the full story. You will see maybe one picture of a complete week. That's the difference. But how I am with my kids, I'm authentically with my kids. If you guys ever gymmed with me, if you say, hey, Tana, something says Jimmy, you'll realize, hey, Lomchita, listen to a poster. Okay, sure. I am that guy, you know. We were chatting and she was saying, like, it's so crazy because people will say things like, oh, Pinson, you're so sexist or you're so chauvinistic, as an example. And then she's like, only for them to realize, that's who you are off camera. Like, if you are pro men, I'm pro men off camera, on camera, under the camera, behind the camera, you name it. I like supporting my brothers in their challenges with mental health, with depression, and so on. That's just who I am, you know. And I'm very critical of sisters who have sold themselves short. I am, whether there's cameras or no cameras, social media, no social media. But with that being said, I understand how people are trying to get their bag with their brand, you know. So if their brand is about let's just say your brand is about gym. We saw this with a lot of people that were selling Herbex and all those type of things. On the back end, these guys are using all these supplements and batch-off and whatever. But then on camera, they're busy telling us, buy Herbex or buy Watwati, Hlasela Mafuta, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, but that's not authentic. That's not authentic. You know, you can't on the one side do this and on the other side sell that, because there's people who are very vulnerable and people who are actually consuming your information at face value. So for me, if you come to my place, I drink brandy, I drink Jameson, that's me. So if you see my social media, chances are you're going to find that. You're going to find a bottle of his Stretton's gin, because that's who I am. You come to my place, that's the same thing. You know, I love watching rugby. You come to my place, I'm watching rugby. I'm not trying to, hey, let me look like my nails are painted, I've got a nose ring. Like, you see me at Cresta, you see the guy with the painted nails and a nose ring. I'm trying to be as genuine as I can in a world where everybody's just lying and selling this narrative. In a world where everything is pretentious. In a world where guys are trying to project and say, I'm so successful, I've got money. Hey, mina ngintshela kahle, mina nginezikweletu mina guys. Hey, kuyanyiwa la ngaphandle. Yeah, amabhenki awangifuni kabi mina amabhenki. Athi nasi le nje sikweleta imali. I don't try and pretend to someone I'm not. But now I'm drinking, I'm a VSOP. I'm not that guy. If you see me drinking a VSOP, you know what either one, or two, I put even hundreds. Or it was some social media event and I was bought that. Like, really, that's just who I am. That's honestly who I am. You know, the car that I drive, you must know when you see me driving that car, one, I'm struggling paying it off. 1, 2, it's bought for the family. It's bought for the family. It's really a family car. It's just that mindset. It might look a type of way and makes you think that's on you. That's on you. But it's a practical family car for me. Obviously, I'm also liking aesthetic. I also like speed. I also like sharp. But I'm not trying to push a brand. I'm not like those girls that get their eyebrows done, they get their foundation, they get their hair, they get their waist chain, they got a wonder bra. All selling a narrative which doesn't exist. Because if you go and chill with her, you wake up with her, you spend the day with her, you'll see that her titties is all the way by her knees. You'll see her to you'll see what and you'll see that her eyelashes and her eyebrows, you'll see what her complexion is in patches. You'll see this. And that's okay, because that's authentically her. But on social media, what is she selling? On social media, she's saying, my waist is this small. On social media, she's saying my titties are this perky. On social media, she says, look at the hair. On social media, she's selling something that she's not. She's not that. There's nothing wrong with putting makeup and enhancing what you have. It's something different where you are a 10 on social media and a 4 in reality. No. Be a 4 in reality and a 5 on social media. Okay, sharp. Personally, I would prefer the inverse. I'd prefer a situation when you see me on social media, you're like, this guy is a 5. And then you see me like in real life, you're like, it's not as in real life. I would rather in reality be a better version of what you see. I'd rather for brothers, when they meet me and we have this chat and whatever, they spend time, they go, you're actually a real genuine guy, like in reality. I'd rather sisters who are like, oh my God, this guy's such a servant. And then when we see each other and we chop it up and we have this debate, they go, okay, you make more sense. Now that we've had time to engage with you in reality, it makes more sense. You are a better version of that guy that we see on social media. That's what I want. That's what I'm trying to push. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'll say I'm disgusted by certain sisters in social media. I'm disgusted by certain brothers in social media. I'm disgusted by how media has changed this narrative, because at the end of the day, we've got young nephews, young nieces, young sons, young daughters, a young generation growing up thinking that's just how the world is. Like literally yesterday on X, on Twitter, I'm reading Undlozi was trending, and Andile Ncube was talking about, which guys, it's so difficult for Undlozi, even though he's getting disrespected by the EFF, even though he's going through challenges, it's so difficult, like leaving a 120,000 Rand paycheck every month, coming in every month, when you don't really have a bigger plan. That's what Andile was saying. And I think Pumzile, the ex-DA member, I think it was her, she was like, well, it's only 57,000 Rand after tax, right? And then they started like, Andile was like, well, you stayed after the DA disrespect. Anyway, here's my point. I'm reading the comments and I'm reading people saying, for that disrespect, 60,000 Rand after tax, I'd leave. Man, for that disrespect, what is 60,000 Rand? And I'm watching, I'm reading and I'm going, I know for a fact that in this country, to be the top 15%, you need to be paid about 20,000 Rand before tax. For you to be in the top 15%, top, I know in this country, before tax, you need to be earning 45,000 Rand to be in the top 5%. Hey, I'm correcting, cool. But I know 45,000 before tax, 5%. People are writing about a guy who after tax, after is getting 60,000, putting him firmly in the top 1%, as if it's like, yeah, I'd also leave, it's just 60,000 Rand. Bro, in the landscape of this country, that is like literally someone's 4-month salary before tax. Before tax. In a country where you're sitting at like 35% unemployment, 60,000 Rand, all those are getting someone's yearly salary in 1 month. Like, it might not be your yearly salary, but it is if you're working and you are selling second-hand cars. Guys that are selling second-hand cars, their basic salary is about, what, 12,000 Rand? Yes, they might get commission, I get that. But it's that. And it's not even me shitting on anyone. I promise you I'm not. It's a reality of it. If you're working at Pick n Pay, if you're working at Steers, I know how much you're earning, your brackets. It's not to shit, it's a reality. But you can't be earning that brackets and then going on X and say, yeah, I would not stay for 60,000 Rand after tax. But you're not moving for the 8,000. Guys, the world, how we see it on social media, is really fucking up with our brains. It really, really is. We see these women looking a certain way and we forget how women look like in reality. You forget. You see these guys popping bottles, driving these cars on social media. You forget the average guy in South Africa is so far removed from that. You're sitting, the average black guy, 40% is unemployed. For then there's 60%. Of that 60%, how many guys are earning 10,000 Rand or less? How many guys are earning 20,000? The guys that you are seeing on this mental journey that you're on via social media, it's like that. That's why those guys get to play with all these girls. They get to flip them. Every weekend is a different one because he knows that he's literally like 1 in 50,000. He knows this. And also says that once they start getting a taste, he flew me here, he flew me there, he flew me there. Hey, guys. Hey, to fly a girl just from here to Cape Town and back for 1 weekend. That's literally a person's monthly salary. Literally. Guys, social media has played with us. Understand it's been curated. Sharp. I'm not fighting people who are trying to get the bag. Sharp. I'm not trying to find people who are trying to sell a certain narrative. I'm not mad. I'm not hating on people's bag. Sure. But you have a moral obligation, guys, for the generations that's coming up to actually say or not say. Don't say, you don't have to post buy hairbags to look like me. If you know that you're doing other dodgy things, don't say things. Don't sell us a lie. Rather keep quiet. If you know, Siswam Guti, you are selling your bum to get this, don't just say, oh, I work hard, because then you are misdirecting people. Rather keep quiet and post yourself on a yacht and post yourself with this. When people ask you and you're like, oh no, I'm just blessed, sometimes, in life, God just makes a plan for you. Leave it at that. Don't misguide people and tell them to go left. Don't do this thing where everybody wants to now be a YouTuber. There's no money in YouTube. There's no money in YouTube, guys. There's this perceived bullshit. There's a reason why the best YouTuber in Africa, Mechi, is still working as a DJ, is still pushing other businesses, Saul is still with, and these guys are phenomenal. They're the best like ever. And they're still doing other things. Guys, you can't live off YouTube money. Like, what is it? Like, I think it's like 10,000 views on YouTube is like 400 rand or something. So if you posting 4 episodes, let's say 4 episodes a month, and you get 100,000 views that month, you must know when you bamboo 4,000, bamboo 4,000. Now you have to factor in editing. Editing like is 1,000 rand per video. So you made 0 rand that month. Like you have to shoot, you have to edit, you have to like the cheapest camera guys and editors, the cheapest for your episode is 1,000 rand. That's the bottom line. It goes up to 40,000-50,000 rand per episode. Like I'm telling you. So now you're like, oh, I get 500,000. How much money you make? Make no money. There's no money in YouTube. It's this media thing that we're selling. It's like people saying there's money in DJ. No, just because Ukabza and Umaporisa and 3 other guys are making big bucks, that doesn't mean 90% of these DJs are making money. That's not true. It's just media selling media narratives. Guys, come on. Anyway, when I get too emotional. But ngiyantanda, guys. Ngiyantanda. Even though we khohlisane and throw each other the wrong way, but ngiyantanda. Let me know what you guys think around the perception of media, the perception of social media, and how it's actually broken us as a people. Our minds are just inside out, fucking upside down because of media. We believe that the world is like this. Meanwhile, it's like this. We believe the world is like this, but it's like this. Let me know in the comments. Share this video far and wide if you think there's any benefit for anyone outside of this community. Ngiyantanda, guys. Thanks to all the subscribers. Thank you to all the paying members. You guys are heaven sent. Have yourself a fantastic day. I'm out.